Good evening, everybody. Today we're going to have a quick conversation. My laptop is actually working right now, but I have started my stream at 11:59, so I was taking a nap. I had to wake up so I can make sure that I stream today. So just wanted to talk quickly about having a target. Yesterday we talked about defining what a loss is, and we redefined a loss as being something that not necessarily what you can choose, but we redefined it. It's something as having a losing day, having a loss is when you lose control. We established some ways we can keep control. And the definition of a losing trade or a losing trading day wasn't losing money. It was actually the losing of our control of our emotions. That's a losing day, because that is the root of where losses that are unnecessary, where exaggerated losses is the place of where bad decision making stems from. So if you can grab it at this root and uproot it, and or just have it not exist at this root, then you would also avoid the fruits of it. So we redefined what losing is, and I have to be very, very, very quick on this stream. I do have an appointment from 12 to 1, so I'm going to only spend maybe 5 minutes maximum. And that was what we talked about yesterday, which was having a losing trade is losing control. The reason why we redefined it is because having a business, you can tend to have expenses. Expenses are not losses. They're things that you mark off. You're happy to have an expense. That should be the purpose of an expense. If you're in a business, for example, and you have staff, well, you in having staff, you don't want to see that as a loss. You know, when you spend 40,000 a year on having somebody work for your company, it's not a loss, because they are an investment. So we redefine what a loss means for us. It is not actually the losing money. When you go to the shop, you spend £5 on shopping, or £10 or £50. This economy is probably closer to higher numbers, right? You don't see yourself as spending money in a supermarket as a loss. Why? Because you're getting something in return. YouTuber, nice name, says, "Hello, I'm here. I think, lol." Yes, you are. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today, we just wanted to have a quick conversation on what it means to have a target and the purpose of a target in trading. And my laptop is working, but I didn't really trade yesterday, so I'm not going to go through the markets. I'm just going to give you some information. Glad I am. I'm glad you're here too, my guy. Thank you. So having a target is important, not just in trading, it's important in life. And the reason why I think it's important is because having a trading plan, or rather having a target, is the equivalent as having something to aim for. And the reason why a target is important is because if you don't have a target, you will not hit anything. You will not succeed. The reason why a target is important is because it cures overtrading. It cures greed. There's been times where I've been holding a trade, and because I didn't have a target, I just kept holding and holding and holding and holding. But because I didn't have a target, I didn't come out of the trade. And that's what having a target can help you with. It can help you with the times of where you may feel greed rising. It can help you with the times where you're not sure, you're not certain. You know, you can be very confident in taking a trade and coming out of it when you have a target. And a target isn't just something to look forward to, like a take profit. It is also something as a stop loss. So you need to define every level. Your entry has to be important, your stop loss has to be important, and your take profit has to be important. So having a target is important, because without having a target, you don't have anything to hit. You're going nowhere. I'll give you an equivalent. Imagine playing basketball, but there was no hoop. They would just be bouncing the ball around, walking around the court. But if there's nowhere to shoot the hoop, then what's the point of the basketball? Nothing. The sport is absolutely nothing without having a target. So likewise, it's important as traders that we also have our targets, because without targets, what are we? We're just spending money for no reason. Mahir DXP, apologies if I'm saying your name wrong. Welcome to the stream, bro. Nice, thank you very much. So having a target is important. So how do you then determine your target? That's the correct question. How do you determine a target? A target should have emphasis. When you see a hoop in basketball, when you see a goal in football, whatever sport, when you see the net in ice hockey, whatever sport it is very clear. Do a backflip. I cannot do a backflip. It's very clear that there is a target. You don't have to ask questions. When you're watching a basketball game, you're not questioning what they're gonna do. You have a target, and it's obvious. So when we're setting targets in a trading market, it's important that we make it obvious. How do we make it obvious? We go to places. I am a believer of liquidity. So I would look for daily liquidity. I would look for session highs. I will look for areas of significant importance. So my targets align with very strong values in the market. They're not just set randomly. They're set at places where I expect price to respect, which will be swing highs. It will be daily highs. It will be weekly highs and lows. It will be equal lows. Those are the sorts of things of how I set my target. It is obvious. It is clear to me, such as it is in sport. You don't have to question where the hoop is or the net is for the basketball. You don't have to question where the target is in football, because it's big, it's obvious, it's clear, it stands out. So likewise, our trading targets should also have clarity and stand out. Mahir says, you are good. Thank you very much. I respect you. Thank you very much, programmer. Yawn. I know I sound tired, and I did just wake up from a nap, but not yawning on command right now. So we just established what a target is. A target is a place where we have significance of importance. We established why we need a target, because without it, we have nothing. We are nobody. We're nobody. Let me rephrase that. We're going nowhere in terms of our trade. Okay, when you have no target, you're not going anywhere. You're just following the wind. Imagine having a goal of how much you want to save. You want to save 10,000. So every time you put £1, £10, you're saving up for something. The reason why you may want to save 10,000 because you want to buy a house, or you might want to buy a car, right? So having a target helps you accomplish something. So in trading, it's important that you have a target in every single trade. Without a target, you're subject to a lot of things that happen in the marketplace. I believe there's a lot of manipulation that goes on. So without having a target, you are opening the door for manipulation, because manipulation plays on people who don't have a target. Manipulation plays on people who don't know what they're doing. So you got to create that for yourself, create that environment of knowing what you're doing, create that environment of having a target, so that you cannot fall prey to manipulation. Okay, so I have definitely gone over my time. I do have to, I'm 7 minutes late for a meeting, so I do have to go. But I do believe I've opened the topic for the idea of having a target. That was the topic of today, which is, I believe, extremely important. And also, I believe that is something that we should all have. It goes beyond trading. It should be in our daily life. What do we want to get out today? We should have a target. What do we want to get out of the week? We should have a target. You want to do a business? What's your target? What's your target audience? What's your target customers? What type of people are you targeting? How many people are you targeting? We can take this beyond trading. It could be a lifestyle. So set your targets. Your target should be something of importance. It should be reachable. It should be clear. It should be obvious. And it should have value. You create that value, but it has to have understanding behind it. You don't just say, this is my target, £1 million. Okay, that's good, but why is it £1 million? How are you going to get there? If you think, oh, my target is £1 million in trading, but I only have £5 in my trading account, set a lower target. So set a lower target, because let's be honest with ourselves, £5, £100, you're not going to get to £1 million in a while. Wealth is built slowly, not quickly. So remember to set your targets. Next time you go into a trading place, in the trading marketplace. Set your targets, respect your targets, and keep your targets clear and obvious so that you can also be respected. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow, hopefully with the actual trading session. I'll try my best to find time because we did look at the markets, but it was off stream. Look at the link in the description. My Instagram, Telegram, all of that stuff is there. You can keep up to date with anything I'm doing throughout the day if it's not being streamed. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let me file all that. Thank you.